Well, here we are, Thoughts from the Office, Rednecks Pride Outdoors, and even though that's not good English there, I'm going to do a video on cage strapping for the wildlife control industry. Mainly, it doesn't only deal with the wildlife control industry. Fur trappers, if you're paying attention, thinking about it, it has benefit to you also. One of the questions that I'm always asked about cages is baits. And a lot of times I don't use bait at all. I just use lure. And what I find is in certain situations that just using a lure or lures has better results than using a bait. One of the things that I've noticed or seen with my cameras is that time frame, or the time in which the animal comes to the cage strap, dictates what the animal's going to want. I don't know if that's making sense. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I'll use the example. It's easier to do it this way. I have found that, especially in the warmer months, spring and summer and early fall, where, she's well above freezing, you're 50 and above, if you will, nighttime temperatures, especially in the summertime where your nighttime temperatures are 70 and 80 and down south 90. Nighttime temperatures 90 is gruesome. I hate it when we have 80 degree night times. Anyway, going back to what I'm talking about. I find that when using proteins, fish and meat, okay, which is what most people do. They want their proteins, they want their meat, they want their fish, they want the flesh, okay? That those baits, proteins, work better when the animal comes to the cage trap early in the evening. So here it is, June 8th. I'm out picking up a few groundhogs here before I have to head up North Jersey to do that Rednecks Pride Outdoors mini rendezvous. The last one today. Excited about that. But anyway, let's get back to what I'm talking about. Last night it was 70 degrees, 70, 74, 75, something like that. And I find that, it gets dark around 9 o'clock right now. And when the skunk, raccoon, aardvark, hippopotamus, whatever, leaves the den, they're somewhat hungry, but they're not famished. They're not starving. They're somewhat hungry. All right. And it's at this point, if they can come to the cage trap, say in the next couple hours, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, by 12 o'clock, that your proteins will work okay. Again, they're not starving. It's warm. And unless they're a nursing female that needs to build up her, she's urging those proteins, the proteins will work pretty decent for those first few hours of darkness. And I always ask this question at the South Jersey Trapping and Snaring School. How long is an animal hungry when it leaves the den? And the answer is till it gets filled up. And how long does it take to get filled up? Its first meal, first couple meals. So realistically, within the first hour to 2 hours, that animal is not hungry anymore, realistically. So after 11, 12 o'clock, we see a change in the critter, if you will. And this is where I get in a lot of heated discussions, because everybody out there thinks that these animals are starving, they're hungry, they're always looking for food. And they're not. They're not always looking for food. They look for food to fill up, to take away the hunger pain, and then they aren't hungry no more. So what do they do for the rest of the night? From 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning, because it gets daylight around 5:30. What are they doing the rest of that night? They're being a critter. They're being a critter. So what I find is the first few hours, your proteins, your meat, your fish, your sardines, your cat food, your dog food. That's when you're going to have the biggest draw to those baits. But when you get past that 12 o'clock mark, for the next 4 hours or 5 hours, and they're not hungry anymore, meaning they're not trying to eat a meal like you are at dinner time. So let's use you as an example. You got home, you ate 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Wife cooked a good dinner. Biscuits, gravy, fried chicken, mashed taters, green beans or corn. Oh, good, man. You scoffed it up. You ate it up. Boom. Bam. Gone. Woo-hoo. It was good eating. Catfish, maybe. Fried catfish. But anyway, getting back to it. You ate your dinner. You're done eating dinner at 6 or 7, whatever it is. About 9 o'clock comes, you're getting ready to go to bed. You want to go to bed, but you got a little tinge of something, you know. You look in the refrigerator, you look on that table, what do you see there? That cherry pie or chocolate cake or chocolate chip cookies with a glass of milk. You're not interested in eating that fried chicken or fried fish anymore. What are you interested in? That cherry pie, that chocolate cake, those chocolate chip cookies with a glass of milk. You sit down, you eat a little bit of it. Not a whole bunch either. Well, some of you will. Some of you show it. But anyway, I'm showing a little bit too myself. Well, anyway, getting back to it. You ain't eating as much as you did at dinner. You're eating a piece of pie or a piece of cake or 3 or 4 chocolate chip cookies with a glass of milk. It's the same thing as that animal. That animal isn't looking for food. They're looking for, they come across something that, it's pretty interesting. I think I like that. Now, that's not unlike a fox or a coyote. They're killing for what? Number 1, sport. Number 2, excitement. Number 3, to hide it for tomorrow night. Raccoon doesn't necessarily do that. The raccoon will kill a crayfish or grab a fish or something like that and kill it for sport, but it's not taking it and hiding it anywhere. I've seen where raccoons have killed crawdads and let them lay. Bite the head off and let them lay. So when we run into after 12 o'clock, and that's not, you know what I'm saying there, 12 o'clock is not an absolute number, you know, so don't set your clock to 12 o'clock. It's after the animal gets his first meal and fills up, whatever that animal is. Same thing with squirrels coming out of the hole in the morning. How long does it take them to get filled up? Well, squirrels snack all day. But anyway, at this point, all right, at this point, the animal is not looking to feed, they're looking to snack. And at that point, that's where your sweet baits and lures, that's taste especially, comes into play. But what I found is, a lot of times, especially in the warmer weather, that bait isn't the draw. It's the lure. You take something like our Purple Passion or our Persimmon. You take something like our sweet corn or melon. They're all sweet smelling. They all taste good to the critter. And there's an attraction to it. It's like the lollipop. You know, it's like the sugar daddy candy on a stick. So what I find is this, that I can take a trap that I am suspecting. This probably falls better with the trapper, because a lot of their sets are going to produce, a lot of our sets as a fur trapper is going to produce 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So what I find is in a lot of scenarios that time frame after 12 or after 11 or after 10 or after that first meal, that sometimes lures with an eye appeal works better than trying to pull them in with bait. And again, this is where I come in with my 4 lures. I know. How much lure are you using? Again, about 1/4 ounce at the most per trap. But I'll take a marshmallow or a cotton ball or a golf ball, or for groundhogs, I'll use a fake flower or whatever you want to use as your eye appeal. A little piece of plastic trash bag, black plastic trash bag floating in the back of the trap. And then I'm going to take the lure, the first lure, Persimmon, and about 1 foot out in front of that trap, I'm going to just drip all the way to the back of the trap, and then just put a little bit there, a little bit more in the back. And then I'm going to take Purple Passion. I'm in the middle. Now the Persimmon was on the right side of the trap, and then in the middle I'm taking Purple Passion, drip the same way, a little bit in the back. And then I'm going to take my third lure and flower shop, sweet corn, whatever, you name it. And on the left side, drip the same way. I'm going to lead it in. And then I take my 4th lure, and at that point I'm trying to figure out if I want to use a gland or if I want to use curiosity, or if I want to use whatever. So if I'm after raccoons, I may use old swamp coon, or I may use coon call, or I may use a fox gland, or coyote gland, or bobcat gland in the back of the trap. Drip, just a little bit more. Okay, so now what's going on is they can smell it, they can lick it on the grass, it tastes good. They smell that 4th lure back there, they see the eye appeal, whatever that is, and the curiosity just flat gets them. Now again, we're going right back to what? Blind setting. Blind setting means, you know, most people when I say blind setting, well, they don't see the trap. No, blind setting means you're just putting the trap in front of where they're going to walk. It's just blind. They're just going to blindly walk into that doggone cage trap, or walk into that conibear if you're allowed to use conibears on top of your land, or they're going to walk into that snare or cable restraint if you're allowed to do that. So by just using the lure, the smell, the little taste on, and I'm a firm believer with cage traps, you want to use a taste bait or lure. You definitely want to do that. But again, the lure, they get a little taste of it, they smell it, but they really don't see it. There's nothing for them to concentrate on except for that eye appeal back there. And then that fourth lure's got a different smell back there. And they smell it. They're at the front of the trap. You put them at the front of the trap. Why? Because that's the way they was going to go any old how. You just put the trap there where they're going to be no matter what. You put the front of the trap where they're going to be no matter what. Now they're looking in the trap. Now they're smelling it. They may taste it, but they don't see nothing except for that eye appeal and that third and that fourth smell back there. Simple, simple, simple. Okay? And I tell people all the time, keep it simple, stupid, but think it through. When you're trying to learn this stuff, it's rocket science. But once you learn it, it's simple. Keep it simple, stupid. So, you're brand new trapping, fur trapper, brand new wildlife control, you got to figure it out. But once you figure it out, it's simple. Keep it simple, stupid. I know. Too much thinking, Jonesy. If I'm fur trapping, I'm going to add bait to it no matter what, because I don't know when the animal is going to be there. Same thing with ADC, or same thing with wildlife control. Most of the time I'm going to add bait because I don't know if the animal's going to pay attention coming out. I don't know if the animal's there. Especially if on a raccoon circuit, if that raccoon could be gone for 5 to 8 days or 5 to 10 days, whatever it is, I'm going to add bait because it may be inside and the first thing it wants to do is eat something when it comes out. But I'm going to have the lure to deal with this critter coming back. That's curiosity kills the cat. Figurative speech. All right, there's some thoughts from the office. Redneck's Pride Outdoors. I'm going to leave it right there. And we'll catch you all later.